no impact. It's not as if he can go to his TV and overturn a decision, which potentially down the line that VAR might will help him out.
Not his job,
but
is it? No.
But he's right in the middle of both benches, right up and down the country, and they must go home after a game and thinking, well, I'm glad that this game's over and I can go home and get an ear bashing from the missus now.
Get back out in the middle next week. Well, the rain is absolutely sheeting down here now at Hillsborough. And to back up the point we were making a few moments ago, Guy Clark, our producer, has pointed out that 5 members of the Wednesday starting lineup tonight played against Steve Bruce's Hull in the playoff final back in 2016 when they lost. And of course, Hull returned to the Premier League, and the Championship is such a short-term business at the moment, isn't it? Unfortunately, as you know as well. Yeah,
it's relentless. Everybody's looking for the golden ticket of getting up to the Premier League, where the big stakes are, the big teams. I think this year with the Championship, there's no one that is running away with it compared to previous season. Wolves last year and Burnley and Newcastle over the last 2 or 3 that you're going, right, yeah, they're pretty much aim at to get one of the automatic positions. That's why it's been so interesting this year. So many sort of teams within close proximity, and it's still up for grabs for so many teams.
But if United win here tonight, they will be 7 points clear of West Brom in 4th, and this week at least it would look a 3-horse race.
Yeah, that's what a result like tonight can do, and that would certainly, if it's the reverse of a Sheffield Wednesday result, then Leeds United and Norwich City will be certainly more pleased than Sheffield United.
Half an hour played at Hillsborough on TalkSport 2, and it remains goalless here as Egan plays it square towards Norwood in that quarterback role for Chris Wilder's team, and he lofts a ball high to the far side where O'Connell will try and move forward, but at the moment Wednesday are doing a very good job of just blocking off all the avenues on either side, so Freeman has to try and wrestle his way beyond Aarons, and Aarons has fouled him, and it will be a free kick a few yards away from touch on this near side, and the ball was rolling as they took it, so they'll try again, and Freeman now goes back towards Egan. We've only seen one save from either goalkeeper so far, that block from Kieran Westwood to deny Gary Medina goal against his former club, as Freeman goes back towards Egan again. And often we see Sheffield United try and get the ball forward from back to front very quickly, but they can't do it here.
No, they can't. We mentioned before that Steve Bruce will have his team well organised, well drilled, with Steve Agnew and I think Stephen Clements on his books, who've taken over while Steve was still in the West Indies, and they certainly know what they're doing. They're well drilled. Everybody knows when to press, when not to press, and on the other side of that, Sheffield United do exactly what they do week in and week out. They know which their roles and responsibilities of each member of the team are.
Now Sharp chasing a long ball forward, but Hector did well just to lever him off the ball, but United win it back quickly. Freeman on this near side, the right. Now Norwood. Freeman does well to keep the ball in play, but Aarons comes in with a decent challenge. Hector's clearance then rebounds off Norwood high into the penalty area. Basham rises above Palmer to find Norwood, who goes to ground very easily as Hector makes the challenge, and players from both sides believe they were fouled on the byline away to our right, but in the end the assistant, who was well placed, has given a free kick to Wednesday.
Yeah, Kieran Freeman looking to get down the right hand side, felt he could have had a free kick, then it comes back out to I think it was Norwood, who then met a free kick on Hector, and as you mentioned earlier, there's been a lot of endeavour between both teams, not been loads of crunching tackles, but there's not been a real end product from both teams. There's been no, apart from the Westwood save where Medine maybe should have headed it down, we don't think Dean Henderson has had to do too much apart from collect the odd cross that's been going into the box, so it's not really kicked off yet, has it, in terms, I'm not saying from a physical point of view, I'm just thinking from an action point of view.
The game doesn't really have a pattern. They look to be, maybe after 10 minutes, the danger for Wednesday that United could take control, but Wednesday have responded well.
Yeah, they've got back into it, they've got a bit more of a foothold into it, and Sheffield Wednesday just not moving the ball, Sheffield United not moving the ball as quickly as they did in that opening minutes of the game.
Well, it's a very, very slick playing surface here now as the rain continues to tumble down in the north of Sheffield. On the far side, Onomar goes back towards Lees, and Hector will find Palmer. So all 4 members of the Wednesday back 4 involved there as they look to try and build, but having praised the durability of the Wednesday system, United are also very adept at getting bodies behind the ball. But Basham now took a ride on Aarons on this near side, and it will be another free kick for Sheffield Wednesday.
There we go, the 4th official getting ear bashing again from both sides. Again, ball up to Aarons, who's only a small little winger. Something Basham didn't really need to do. Gives Bannon the opportunity to put this into the box from a deep area. He's going to look for the big diagonal of Iorfa and Fletcher, and then hopefully looking for the second balls off the back of that.
Bannon looking for Fletcher inside the penalty area, flicked on by Hector and volley clear by Basham. Now Dowell, he's fouled by Aarons, and it will be a free kick for United with 11 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport 2, and it remains goalless in the Steel City derby. Don't forget, on Thursday we are back in the Europa League on TalkSport 2 with full commentary of the first leg round of 16 tie between Rennes and Arsenal. Then on Saturday, a bumper day of Premier League action across the TalkSport network. Palace against Brighton will be live on TalkSport. Manchester City against Watford will be at 5:30 on TalkSport. Between those, there is Leicester against Fulham. Brendan Rodgers with his home debut as Leicester City manager. As a high ball into the penalty area, looking for Medine for United, is gathered by Westwood. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, Sheffield United against Rotherham will be on 2 at 12:15 on Saturday, and then on Sunday on 2, a high noon start for the second City derby between Birmingham and Aston Villa. And I'll be at Anfield on TalkSport for another big game in the race for the title, Liverpool against Burnley. Freeman with a long ball forward for United on this near side. Sharp will get there before Lees and tries to jab the ball in field to pick up Medine, but again Barry Bannon was back there doing his defensive work. Aarons will try and bring the ball forward now with short sleeves and gloves for Sheffield Wednesday, but it's Norwood who brings it clear for United. Freeman was possibly fouled there by Forestieri. He certainly believes he was, but Peter Banks has not blown his whistle on too many occasions so far.
Yeah, he's made tried to let the play develop and not met free kicks too obvious if he doesn't have to do. The ones that he's had to give are the ones that are actually free kicks. So you've seen both teams defending well. Sheffield United's back 3, Sheffield Wednesday's back 4. A lot of endeavour from both teams, but not a great deal of quality at this moment in time.
Well, United are the form team in the top 6 with 23 points from their last 10 games. As Basham brings it forward, finds Dowell down the right, but Palmer with a decent challenge. Well, it looked to be, but Peter Banks belatedly has given the free kick to the utter disgust of Steve Bruce. He got the ball.
Yeah, we were just praising him there, weren't we? I followed the ball after that, to be fair. I saw it got moved back from Freeman into Norwood, thinking how they're going to develop it, and then to my amazement he's given a free kick against Palmer, and this is in a real strong position for Sheffield United, just outside the 18-yard box. Norwood's right foot is going to whip it in away from with an outswinger. As we mentioned many times before, the big lad's going into the box, but yeah, a bit of a surprise decision.
The rain now is absolutely sweeping down, and it's into the faces of the Sheffield Wednesday players defending the Kop end away to our right. A huge Sheffield Wednesday St George's flag is also billowing in the wind on the far side. A free kick played by Norwood into the penalty area, nodded away at Reach at the near post for a corner. Yeah, good defending, Adam Reach. Norwood trying to whip it into there. Basham trying to get across the near zone area. Adam Reach, 6 foot plus, looking to defend that near post and does it really well. But as it resulted in now, with Fleck will come across, try and whip it in. Be interesting to see if Billy Sharp's going to be stood on Westwood's feet and try and block him from trying to come and catch his delivery. Well, Sharp is the only United player inside the 6-yard area, and Palmer is trying to block his run to block the goalkeeper's run. Fleck with the corner, a flatter delivery, reach with the clearance, and it's missed by Aarons, but it almost runs into the path of Hutchinson. But Basham is a very good athlete to get back and find Stevens. His long ball forward looks to find Norwood on the far side. In fact, it was Medine, but Iorfa leapt well, heads the ball clear, and it will be a throw-in to Sheffield United with 6.5 minutes to play in what has been a very attritional first half here at Hillsborough on TalkSport 2. 0-0. Now Dowell on the far side looks to play the ball inside the fullback to pick out the run of Fleck, but Wednesday will clear. Then Fletcher wants a free kick on the halfway line, doesn't get it, and Egan plays it wide to the far side. O'Connell with a long ball down the centre, looking for Dowell, who tries to chest the ball down, but the ball was coming straight at him, so as a result it rebounds off his hip, and Hutchinson will bring the ball forward for Sheffield Wednesday, wide towards Dominic Iorfa on the far side. But whenever Wednesday have the ball, they always have to go long, because United have the midfield area bottled up. Lees does go long, looking for the run of reach on the far side, but it's nodded away by O'Connell, and it will be a throw into Wednesday.
I think both teams are working extremely hard in the midfield areas to make sure that the opposition don't have that time and space to pick out the forward runs of the wide players or the ball into Fletcher or into Medine, which then would allow Forestieri and Dowell and Sharp to get the second ball. So I think both teams are working extremely hard to stop the source, which has probably resulted in, so far, not too many opportunities for either team.
You're listening to Sheffield Wednesday versus Sheffield United on TalkSport 2, with McDonald's Fun Football providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Reach on the far side, can't control a long ball, and he points back to his teammates and says, look, I need the ball further up the field to give me a chance to run onto it. Yeah, that was a
strange decision from Hector there, because I think Adam Reach had taken the wing back right into his position, and he could have gone across the back four into Iorfa, who could have drove him, but he decided to a big crossfield diagonal pass, which then went straight out of play. So he's got to make sure you make a better decision when you get that opportunity.
Bannon now has the room to scamper forward for Wednesday. Plays it wide to this near side on Palmer. Aarons providing the width down the left. Aarons choosing though to come in field, and it's Bannon once again. Palmer, a right-footed player, playing at left full-back, will try and look to deliver the cross, but Aarons will do eventually. Cleared as far as Bannon. Forestieri now has been quiet for long spells in the game, looks to turn, then he gets it back from Basham, who makes a mistake on the edge of the penalty area. Aarons back towards Bannon, the high cross in. Fletcher will challenge though, not a clear by O'Connell, and Stevens does well to avoid the corner by hoofing it long downfield on the far side. Dowell then challenges Hutchinson. Both players look to have a problem, and with a head injury on either side, Peter Banks has stopped play and waved on the medical teams.
At first it looked like Hutchinson could have been out cold there, but just looking at him now, he looks like he's okay, he's moving around. It was one of them situations where Dowell had to go for the ball, but he was never, in that split second, he was a little bit late and headed the back of Sam Hutchinson. So it looks like both of them are going to be a little bit sore, but fortunately both of them look like they're both going to be all right.
Yeah, Hutchinson very quickly showed signs of movement. A player, of course, who retired as a youngster at Chelsea, and then rebuilt his career. A long time at Nottingham Forest on loan before moving to Wednesday, but he's been out of this side for 4 months with a groin problem. But he's the sort of player that Steve Bruce has been looking to since arriving at Hillsborough.
I think he was a key player when Sheffield Wednesday got to the playoff final. He was that midfield cog that would just hold things together, the love of tackle, the tenacity that would allow the other players to go out and express themselves, knowing that he was in the region to protect the back four.
Well, a free kick was given. It's flicked on by Hector into the 6-yard area. Volley clear, and now Aarons with a shot, sliding in to make the block with his back was Fleck. And Medine on this near side tries to step over to evade Aarons, couldn't do so, then put Basham under pressure, and Basham can just whack the ball away on this near side out of play as Aarons look to head towards the byline, and it's a throw into Wednesday. And we have 2 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport 2. 0-0 in the Steel City derby in driving rain at Hillsborough. Palmer will take the throw in down the line. Forestieri looking to go beyond Basham, but Basham does well just to get his body between Forestieri and the ball, and Forestieri tries to kid the officials by picking the ball up and heading towards the corner flag, but they weren't fooled. It's a goal kick.
No, just going back to the throw in there, I'm not sure Gary Medine would have gone down in Chris Wilder's good books if he tries to do too many turns like that when you're not far outside your own 18-yard box. Fortunately for their perspective, he got away with it. I think now we're going into the closing stages of this first half. Both teams will got to make sure that they don't give away needless free kicks, or make sure that they don't give away a goal when really no team deserves really to score at this moment in time.
Well, Medine has a free kick. It's just hauled back by Hector, and Lee Bullen has now been given the job by Steve Bruce of telling the fourth official he disagreed. It's all about delegation, isn't it, when you're a manager? Free kick which Norwood will take, right-footed, high towards the far post. Medine will rise and nods it back in field. Then Bannon heads it across his own penalty area. Fletcher, though, does well to hook the ball away. Fletcher is marking Medine at set pieces before Stevens tries to return the ball over the top towards the United left-hand side, and it's overhit and out of play.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Edna Stevens was trying there. Maybe he's come back to him on our volley. It'd have been probably better with the odd minute to go before the half-time whistle goes. Just put it back into the 18-yard box where all his big hitters are. So a bad decision there.
Basham now inside the centre circle has the opportunity to bring the ball forward for United as we tick towards the final seconds of the 45. Freeman gives the ball away. Palmer has to go back to Bannon, and Bannon's clearance hits Medine, or rather Freeman, in the face and goes out of play for a throw into Wednesday, and there'll be 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half.
Yeah, as I mentioned just previously, both
basically it's Groundhog Day from the game in November, isn't it?
I think we talked it up before the game, didn't we? Thinking
so it won't be as bad as that.
No way it can be as bad as that, and I don't think it has been so far, because at least both teams have been trying to attack when they've had the opportunity. I think it's credit to both teams that they've sort of worked so hard to cancel each other out, rather than one team at Bramall Lane not even looking to try and take the game to the opposition.
Now Aarons wide to this near side for Wednesday. Fletcher tries to find Aarons again, who just miscontrols and gives Fleck the opportunity to knock it back towards Dean Henderson. This is a very different fare to the match here last season when United scored 4 times at Hillsborough for the first time in their history. Now Medine has gone down under the challenge of Hector, right in front of Steve Bruce, and from a couple of yards away Steve Bruce bellows his displeasure. I don't think the free kick's been given, has it?
I think it has, actually.
Yeah.
Was it Hector on Medine?
Hector on Medine again.
He's got back up right in front of the benches. Fourth official's getting it in both ears again. But he's going to allow in the last minute or so Norwood the opportunity to put in another free kick from the similar area that he's done for most of the first half, looking to get the runners off the Sheffield Wednesday back 4 or 5 that are in there.
We've played 1 minute and 40 seconds. Norwood with the free kick in towards the near post area, and it's glanced on at that near post by Egan, and it's high over the top.
It's very difficult from up here, isn't it, to know what the conditions are like. Is it a swirling wind? We've seen the rain coming down. Is it difficult for the players to, when they're putting the ball in, to judge the flight of it, how with the whip on it, are they going to put it into certain areas? Because we're such high up here, aren't we? So high up, should I say.
Yeah, we're right at the back of the main stand here at Hillsborough. A great panoramic view of this old stadium with the Kop to our right-hand side, the end which Wednesday will be attacking in the second half, as Forestieri goes down, uses his hand to bat the ball away. He was going down looking for the free kick, which wasn't going to be given, so that's handball, and it's a free kick for United.
Yeah, there's a few disgruntled supporters again. Steve Bruce throwing his arms up in the air about the referee, but I think it's probably a free kick, handball. It wasn't a foul or anything like that. I think the referee will just let it go on now, blow for the half-time whistle, but maybe not.
Well, here's Basham with a high ball forward into the penalty area. Iorfa will clear. Fleck just allows the ball to bounce. We played the 3 minutes of added time, and that is half-time. And there are a couple of boos around Hillsborough, I think, for the performance of the officials, not as a reaction to the way Sheffield Wednesday have played, because both teams have worked extremely hard to cancel each other out in the opening 45 minutes. One clear-cut chance, Kieran Westwood with a fine save to block Gary Medine's far post header early on, and without any question the man of the match so far has been Jeremy Simpson, the fourth official, for getting it in both ears from both technical areas. Half time, it is goalless at Hillsborough.
Sometimes you've just got to put your hands up and say, maybe we've played a role in all this. Our fault, plenty of intensity, but Simon Grayson, we were hoping for plenty of product and plenty of excitement. That first off, not quite providing it.
No, not really. A bit disappointing for everybody. We give it all a big build-up, didn't we, before the game? A lot at stake for both teams, and I think it's probably showed that there's so much riding on this game, not just the bragging rights, but the points that are at stake, that they're working so hard to cancel each other out. They're not going to be the free-flowing open game that we maybe expected. Because they're both desperate to maybe nick a last-minute winner or just get the points however it takes to get them.
Sheffield United, plenty of the ball, Chris Wilder's side, but doing little with it. I mean, Kieran Westwood doing well to deny Gary Medine early on. That's about the only chance of real substance I can think about, Simon.
Yeah, I think so. I think Dean Henderson at the other end has just caught crosses that have been quite hopelessly put into the box. You'll have a better viewing of the Medine's opportunity. Is it a bad miss or is it a good save?
No, I think he makes himself big, and Medine has only really got one option. It's trying to steer it goalwards, and Westwood, it's at him, but Westwood has made himself big.
It was where it had to go, didn't it? Yeah.
Could he have headed it down maybe, or not, or did he not just have that time to be able to do that?
He could have headed it back across the face of goal, but not many centre forwards would do so. We'll ask you, Simon, would you be angry if your centre forward in that position had nodded the ball back across the face of goal?
Not if he's got a good opportunity to score. And as I said before, I've not seen the replay, but was there anybody that was going to be in around it to get this? Could he get him? I'd be disappointed if the opportunity fell to a 6'4" centre forward who's not attempting to score when his main attribute is his head rather than anything else.
So, you made the point towards the end of the half as well, is that where this differs, apart from the fact that of course there's no goals, that's very similar, but where this one differs from the previous game, from the reverse fixture, is that at least what this is these two sides cancel each other out rather than a kind of attack versus defence situation, which goes back to the point that you made at the top of the show, is that Steve Bruce will know perfectly well how to go about trying to negate Sheffield United. Yeah,
I think you've seen both teams playing different formations, but understanding the roles and responsibility of when to press, when to drop off, how they defend certain areas, and when to allow the opposition. You look at Sheffield United, they're quite happy to have Palmer have it around the halfway line and Iorfa on the right-hand side, because they're not really going to affect the game going forward too much. And on the reverse of that, Sheffield United are not able to get the back three bombing in and having the overloads out wide with the full-backs there, the wing-backs should I say. So it's as we mentioned again, that both teams are trying to win the game, but both teams have been well prepared and cancelling each other out from both the coaches and managers all week that they've had on the training ground.
Just a quick one to ask you, Simon. Some contentious moments in that first half. Plenty of scuffling in the penalty area from set pieces. They're coming together, aren't they?
Well, both teams have got some big units in there, haven't you? You've got the three big centre-backs, and Medine and Dowell and Billy Sharp's always sniffing around and likely to stand on somebody's toes and cause havoc in there. But on the reverse, Sheffield Wednesday have got some big lads, and you've put that together with the good delivery from Norwood and Bannon. You can have plenty of bodies going in amongst it all. So I don't think there's been too much untoward at this moment in time, but you've got to make sure that you touch tight to people that don't allow people to get free headers or free opportunities.
And don't climb on their back. Simon Grayson, thank you very much.
Medine and Hector could be worth keeping an eye on for that very reason. They're having a bit of fun, those two.
Yeah, back with Simon Grayson alongside Nigel Adley. Second half commentary. We're still waiting for the first goal here on TalkSport 2 Live in the 131st Steel City derby.
The EFL on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Search McDonald's Fun Football to find out more.
The all-new Peugeot Partner Van, voted Van of the Year by Van Fleet World and International Van of the Year 2019. With so many awards, we're going to need a bigger van. To celebrate, visit your local dealer this March and test drive the professional partner and the even bigger Expert and Boxer at the Peugeot Van event. And with 0% APR for 2 years, that's definitely something to celebrate. Peugeot Motor Company PLC is a credit broker, not a lender. Will introduce you to PSA Finance UK Limited, the finance provider. Conditions sale. Business users only. T's and C's apply. 18 plus finance update status. 20% deposit required.
Football, the turnstiles are clicking, the studs...
Oi! Move over, football. Cheltenham's coming through. And to celebrate, Sky Bet are offering money back as actual cash. Up to £20 if you lose in the first race every day of the festival. We've no offer
Can I say the last bit, Jim?
Oh, go on then.
We've no offer like it because there's no festival like it.
Sky Bet. That's betting better.
18 plus. BeGambleAware.org. Applies to first bet only. Win singles and win part of each way singles only. Free bets, cashed out bets excluded. Eligibility restrictions, T's and C's apply.
You up to date? I ain't talking fashion trends, sunshine. I'm talking about the latest software and app updates. Here's the thing. Hackers love it when you don't install them. They can use weaknesses in outdated software to attack your device. And if your identity gets nicked, any Tom, Dick or Harry can pretend to be you. So watch your back out there and keep your software and apps up to date. All right? Be cyber aware. Learn more at cyberaware.gov.uk.
Only Vodafone brings you a 2-year red entertainment plan with the stunning new Samsung Galaxy S10 and S10 Plus. Choose from Amazon Prime Video, Spotify Premium, and Now TV Entertainment Pass or Sky Sports Mobile TV on us. Pre-order online or in-store by 7th of March and claim a pair of wireless Galaxy Buds. A galaxy of entertainment can soon be yours. The future's exciting. Ready? Vodafone. Available on red entertainment plans. Entertainment renews with charge after 24 months unless cancelled. Terms at vodafone.co.uk/red entertainment.
Get down to your local Nissan dealership to take full advantage of our fantastic offers across selected Nissan Qashqai, Micra and Juke grades. All with 0% APR representative. That's all you need to know. We do have some legal stuff, so let's fly through that. Available on selected vehicles. Retail customers only. Nissan Finance. Subject to status over 18s. Participating dealers. Vehicles to be ordered and registered by 31st of March 2019. T's and C's apply. Visit nissan.co.uk. Nissan. Innovation that excites.
UEFA Champions League live on TalkSport with Arnold Clark, kicking off Wednesday night from 7 with full match commentary of PSG versus Manchester United.
Manchester United really up against it now. A great counter-attack down the left-hand side.
PSG versus Manchester United, Wednesday night from 7. The UEFA Champions League live on TalkSport.
What a strike!
With Arnold Clark, expect the UK's best used car deals.
TalkSport in the Windies with exclusive coverage of the tour. How was that? TalkSport 2. Here's the beers knees. They're gonna take you to the island with the sweet cold breeze. You get ball-by-ball coverage beneath the palm trees with Harmison Ganga and Godfrey's expertise. Mark and Nicholas will be there too. Bombastically, you won't miss a single wicket from the West Indies. Well, I listened to it once. I'm sure you will agree. All the cricket on TalkSport 2 exclusively.
England's 2019 tour of the West Indies continues tomorrow night from 8.
With ball-by-ball, uninterrupted full-match commentary of the first T20 game.
Exclusively live on TalkSport 2, the new home of cricket.
You're listening to TalkSport 2 Live.
So rather in keeping with the previous two Steel City derbies, so far at half-time at Hillsborough, it isn't a classic. Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sheffield United 0. Just a tweet we've got through at TalkSport 2, interesting from Mac tweeting us. I think Wednesday have got to get Adam Reachmore involved in the game. As for Forestieri, he just doesn't look the same player after all the niggling injuries he's had. We need both sides to be more effective.
Yeah, I mean,
going forward in those forward areas.
He's definitely, he's genuinely one of those good, top half fullbacks, got a lovely cross in him, but of course he's got other jobs to do at the moment. And from that point of view, it's working from Sheffield Wednesday, clearly holding them where they are. But it's one of these situations where it's clear now at this stage that it's Steve Bruce who needs his team to push on more. Chris Walden may be content with the way things are going.
Well, certainly, I think Sheffield United will struggle to contain Adam Reach if he can get into more advanced areas. Of course, eye for the special as well, Adam Reach, this season. Some wonderful goals he scored. Let's bring you some of the top stories tonight that take our interest. Tottenham should have Harry Winks and Eric Dyer back for their Champions League last 16 second leg at Borussia Dortmund, which is live on Talk Sport tomorrow evening. Dele Alli is back in training, but is not thought to have travelled with the squad. And Spurs hold a 3-0 lead from the first leg. Everton's Seamus Coleman has backed the Everton board for sticking tonight with the under-fire manager Marco Silva.
You can't just keep chopping and changing managers. It doesn't work. I know in today's business that's what people want, 4 or 5 bad results, but you got to give people time to get their own players in, implement their own style of play. It's going to be good times and bad times, but it's going to take a season and a half for managers nowadays.
Also coming through to us tonight, Robert Snodgrass has been charged by the FA for allegedly using abusive language towards UK anti-doping officials at West Ham's training ground last month. Gareth Bale's agent says Real Madrid supporters should be ashamed of themselves for jeering him in Saturday's El Clasico defeat to Barcelona. The Spurs defender Ben Davies has been asked if Bale could potentially rejoin the club.
Can't really comment on him coming to Spurs. I don't know if that's even possible. But look, when we play with him at national team, he's a leader. He loves his football and he loves being the man with the talent in the team. He sets the example on the pitch and he's a joy to play with.
I understand what I'm hearing, that Gareth Bale's agent, Jonathan Barnett, will be a guest on the Alan Brazil Sports Breakfast Show tomorrow morning. That's what I'm hearing over on Talk Sport. This one, Mark, got to get your opinion on this. Real Madrid boss Santiago Solari insists he's not being fazed by the latest speculation linking Jose Mourinho with his job, describing the club as having more suitors than Julia Roberts.
So Julia Roberts?
Love that film reference.
Yeah,
which I can film? Real Madrid.
Yes, very interesting.
Most films, really.
I think it's basic. I suppose that sets Santiago's age quite nicely, doesn't it? Because, of course, he's gone for his favourite film actress of, no doubt, that his golden period, which would be Ms. Julia Roberts of Elkin.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that they pursued the line of questioning at the press conference and asked him who they thought that Julia Roberts prefer out of him and Jose Mourinho. And he said, you'll have to ask her that. So it's as if she's actually now directly involved in the entire future Real Madrid's management system.
You know, someone that wants a goal in the second half of the Steel City derby, Julia Roberts will want
She would love one. Well, you say that, but I'd like to hear it from her lips first.
Okay, well, you ring her. I'll get back to Simon Grayson.
I'll get in touch with the Pretty Woman star and find out what she reckons for the second half.
Simon Grayson in place at Hillsborough. We've had a couple of tweets to Talk Sport 2, just wanting more from offensive players of both sides. Simon, we're on the same page as that, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so. Listening to... am I tuned in here? Sorry.
Yeah, you are.
I was just wondering what Guy was doing. I think he's still having a pie, but never mind.
He's a guy, isn't he? What is he doing? Faffing with the buttons.
I think just talking to everybody around the media area, that we all thought it was going to be a real classic. Both teams going for it, and I don't think both teams are not trying to win it. It's just that there's not been the space or the quality of each individual. You're looking at people like Forestieri has not really got going yet. Dowell has not had the opportunity in that number 10 role behind Medine and Sharp, where he can open up the Sheffield Wednesday back four. As the game goes on, then the more desperate both teams will get for the points, might be more clearer opportunities for either team.
So effective. What has impressed me maybe more than anything else with Sheffield United this season is how the Blades can play through the transitions, Simon, how they so quickly get the ball from back to front and flood bodies over halfway. What I thought the hosts on Wednesday have been very good at in that first half is limiting those spaces down. That might change when bodies begin to tire in the second half.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's been very clear from Sheffield United all season. The number of occasions you see the left wing back being supported by the left centre back and same on the right hand side. Tonight you've not really seen that too often. Freeman and Basham have made the odd run together, but you've not really seen Stevens and O'Connell looking to join in as much as we've seen them previously over this course of the season. And again, that's credit to Sheffield Wednesday's preparation, the wide players matching the runs of the wing backs and centre backs, and also I think the threat of Aarons and Reach, the wide areas, is stopping Sheffield United from
Who thinks got...
So I think from Sheffield United's perspective, I think they've got the better attacking options with Duffy as well. If Dowell's not producing a performance, we're just seeing now that George Boyd's coming on for Sheffield Wednesday for Fernando Forestieri. Must have taken a knock, unless Steve Bruce has decided that he's not doing what he should be doing.
Live T20 action in the Caribbean, the first of 3 T20 matches, live from 8 p.m. tomorrow night here on TalkSport 2. Make sure you join us for that. But let's bring you more details of that half-time change for Sheffield Wednesday and the second period here on your home of the EFL alongside Simon Grayson on TalkSport 2 Live. Our match commentator, Nigel Adderley.
Well, Steve Bruce has gone for experience once again. 33-year-old George Boyd coming on for the second half. Another player who's had a long spell out with injury this season, and he's been stuck on 99 career goals for nearly a year as well. But Forestieri and Fletcher, there were times in the first half, Simon, where they weren't even in the same postal district, were they?
No, they were not had the combination play they expected them to have. It'd be interesting whether it's a tactical substitution or it's more through an injury that Forestieri's gone off, because regardless of Forestieri not having an influence on the game, he can still do something out of nothing. So I do think that it might be an injury rather than a tactical substitution, but only that dressing room of Sheffield Wednesday and Steve Bruce will know that.
And we're back underway in the second half here on TalkSport 2. The rain has eased in the half-time interval from torrential to merely persistent, as Sheffield Wednesday defend the goal away to our left-hand side in the second half, as United look to come forward now with Fleck, who has shrugged off Hutchinson. The early ball forward, finding sharp inside the penalty area, and the ball never quite fell for him as he tangled with Hector, and it bobbles through towards Westwood.
Yeah, strong start from Sheffield United down the left-hand side, ball into the box, and unfortunately it just ran right through to Kieran Westwood, as Billy Sharp could have been having an opportunity one-on-one.
First involvement for Boyd on the far side, with that long, lank black hair, and a high cross in from him. The acrobatics from Fletcher. Well, he scored an overhead kick recently, and he was trying another one there, but this time he got right underneath it into the cop.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if he could have maybe tried to direct his the volley with it, rather he should have had a header maybe. It was just slightly behind him, maybe got carried away from the other week where he scored a little bit closer to goal, but fair opportunity, and fair credit to him for trying it anyway.
The teams again for Wednesday: Westwood in goal, Palmer, Lees, Hector and Iorfa, Reach, Hutchinson, Bannon and Aarons. It's now Boyd for Forestieri alongside Fletcher. For United, Henderson in goal, Basham, Egan and O'Connell the back three, Freeman and Stevens in the wide area, Fleck, Norwood and Dowell in midfield, Medine and Sharp in attack. No changes for the Blades at half-time. A reminder of the situation at the top of the table: Norwich on 69 points, Leeds 67, Sheffield United 64, with a better goal difference, so they need to win here to go back above their Yorkshire rivals into the top two once again. And of course they go to Ellen Road a week on Saturday.
Just going back to George Boyd, bags of experience, stuck on 99 goals, like you said. What an opportunity, and to go down in Sheffield Wednesday folk history, should I say, of if he can get up to that 100 mark tonight.
Well, he's always been a very languid looking player, but he does have undoubted quality as United look to come forward now. Fleck, though, drives the cross in towards Sam Hutchinson, and it spins out of play for a throw-in to Sheffield United, who are attacking the end which houses their supporters, spread between the two tiers of the Leppings Lane stand. All of their fans on their feet, and all of the seats taken apart from the areas which have been designated as safety areas, and they are heavily populated by police and stewards. As Henderson, wearing all orange, plays out from the back for Sheffield United. Basham plays it forward down the right-hand side, chested off by Medine, and there's an opportunity for Dowell to try and feed Sharp, and Sharp there was being pulled by Lees, but the referee is happy for play to continue as United bring it forward with Freeman down the right-hand side. Now Basham on the overlap, swoops into the penalty area, back towards the shot from Norwood, and Norwood tried to clip the ball in towards the far post, maybe a cross or a shot, and it was just beyond a lunging Sharp and behind for a corner.
I think he'd be disappointed there, Oliver Norwood, that it's been pulled back to him on the edge of the box. Good work by Freeman and Basham. First time we've seen Chris Basham really push forward on the right hand side, pulls it back to Norwood, who really, with his ability, should be hitting the target, and the miss Scrooge shot nearly fell to Billy Sharp, but I think Oliver Norwood will be hugely disappointed that he's not hit the target, because there wasn't really a Sheffield Wednesday player in too close proximity to him.
4 minutes played in the second half on TalkSport 2 at Hillsborough, the Steel City derby, the start of another massive week of football and cricket across the TalkSport network. Dortmund against Spurs, the football commentary tomorrow on TalkSport, with Spurs taking a 3-goal lead to Germany. Here on 2, there'll be commentary of the first T20 international, part of our exclusive coverage of England's winter of cricket, as Fletcher just closed down Henderson on the right-hand side, and the free kick's being given to United.
Well, Dean Henderson there, he allowed the opportunity for Stephen Fletcher to close him down by taking the extra touch. It came back to him on his left foot. Most goalkeepers would have cleared it first time with his left foot, but decided to try and take a touch across to his right foot and got the clearance, but Fletcher was very close to closing him down and blocking the clearance.
Henderson clears downfield, but it's straight to Aarons, who can move forward now down the Wednesday left. Boyd and Fletcher inside. Aarons, though, takes everybody on his own, then he's caught by Basham, and it's a free kick, much better than a corner, out on the far side, the Wednesday left.
Well, it's the first time we've seen Aarons really get the opportunity and space to run at Sheffield United, and he's running towards the corner flag, and probably from Chris Basham's experience, he doesn't need to make that.
He's going nowhere, is he?
He's going nowhere, so he doesn't have to make the tackle, and it's giving Barry Bannon the opportunity to put it into the box. So unless he's declined, it's going to be Bannon. So got plenty of bodies in the box. Can he pick somebody out?
David McGoldrick now warming up for Sheffield United beneath us, but a more immediate concern for Chris Wilder is this free kick. Dowell is the one-man wall, and Peter Banks, the referee, is just sorting out some pushing and pulling inside the penalty area. Hector and Basham up against each other right on the goal line here in front of the goalkeeper, and now the referee will just call the two players towards him, because Basham was holding Hector there, and if they'd taken the quick free kick, that could have been a penalty.
I think I'm just looking down here now, Steve Bruce instructing Aarons to go across. I think it's something that Sheffield Wednesday have probably worked on, a free kick from this position. Whether they can work it.
Bannon's free kick, an outswinger. Lees was shaping for it. It's eventually swept away by Freeman, and Wednesday now could be under pressure as United break. Dowell streaking forward down the right-hand side. Fleck is the furthest player forward. He's now joined by Sharp, but coming back to make an excellent challenge was Adam Reach, and he had to get that right on the edge of the penalty area, and he clears away to the far side for a throw-in.
Quick counter-attack from Sheffield United, but Sheffield Wednesday responded really quickly by getting back from their original free kick, and Dowell really should have probably gone on the outside, trusted his ability a little bit more, and tried to get one versus one against Adam Reach, and the consequent play from there now has led to a Sheffield United corner.
And Flecker's gone across to take it on the far side. 7 minutes played in the second half on TalkSport 2. It remains goalless at Hillsborough, and it's been very, very tight so far. Both teams need the victory, but know how damaging a defeat would be as well. Fleck with the corner, right on underneath the goalkeeper, and challenging for it was O'Connell in the air, but it's eventually scrambled clear by Hector. Westwood got nowhere near that, and the ball wide to this near side from Stevens doesn't find Basham, and it's out of play for a throw-in.
Yeah, good delivery in from Fleck. Plenty of bodies in there, but again, nobody really having the purpose to go and head it in and cause the opposition any problems.
Iorfa plays it back towards Lees from the throw-in, and the Wednesday central defender plays it forward, but Fletcher has not had too much change out of either O'Connell or Egan so far, and doesn't win the ball on this occasion. Basham's long ball forward. Medine leaps above Palmer and tries to chest the ball down for Dowell, but in the end the ball breaks to Aarons, and Aarons does well to maintain possession in a confined area on the far side, and it's back to the bright orange boots of Michael Hector. A long ball across the face of the field from right to left towards this near side. Iorfa now looks to bring it forward, but he's engaged by Fleck and then checks back to find Lees once again. And Wednesday here are finding it very difficult to get in behind United as the move breaks down and Stevens plays it forward down the left, and Sharp in a wrestling match with Lees, two former Leeds United players there, and Lees does well to go to ground and make the challenge, and Sharp was looking for the quick throw-in from Stevens because of course he couldn't have been offside, but in the end Stevens holds on to it and finds Dowell. Dowell goes back towards O'Connell as United look to build down their left, and the cross in from Dowell played in very flat and onto the head of Hector, but it's quickly recovered by Norwood. Wide to the far side, and Basham back inside towards Norwood again, but such are the lack of options available for either side around the penalty area. It's all got rather stodgy in the midfield so far.
Yeah, I think that's been very much typical of the first half, as we've had for the first 10 minutes of the second half, where plenty of play in the middle of the pitch, but the real key players of each team have not really been able to influence the game. Dowell for Sheffield United, you've had Forestieri the first half, or Bannon Reach, Aaron's second half, so we just want one of these real talented players to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and make something happen.
Egan clips it forward, wide to the far side. Medine looking to put himself about, does well to just buffet Aarons off the ball and win it back, and now Medine will try and clip it forward. Sharp will make the run, but Lee steps in ahead of him to clear, but most of the second balls are dropping to red and white striped shirts at the moment. Norwood and Freeman looking to bring it forward on the far side. Now Basham slides it forward towards Freeman, who was on his heels, level with the edge of the Wednesday penalty area. So as a result, he was in no position to try and overlap for the cross, and it's gone behind for a goal.
Yeah, just trying to hold his run there. Didn't want to get offside as Chris Basham's trying to play him in down the right-hand side. Sheffield Wednesday supporters trying to get behind the team, because it's been Sheffield United so far that have been the team that have started the second half better. Looking at the substitutions for both teams, you've got Duffy, McGoldrick warming up for Sheffield United, Nanui for Sheffield Wednesday, so plenty of options available, and probably a little bit too early for any of the teams to consider a substitution yet.
56 minutes played, goalless at Hillsborough on TalkSport 2. Basham with a long raking ball forward down the centre. Sharp will chase, Lees with the backheader towards the goalkeeper, and Sharp catches Westwood, and the free kick is given. Sharp disappointed with that decision, but Westwood is flat out.
Look, it's one of them opportunities where there's a short backheader from Tom Lees. Billy Sharp has got the right to go for it. I think he's probably just caught Kieran Westwood. I don't think he's doing anything maliciously. I don't think he's caught him with too much venom or aggression. I think he's just accidentally caught him, and as we see now, he's getting up quite easily. So right decision from the referee. Free kick, but not a yellow card.
You're listening to Sheffield Wednesday against Sheffield United on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. And Westwood, back on his feet, will take the free kick for Sheffield Wednesday just inside their penalty area. Chris Wilder in deep discussion with Alan Nill, his assistant. Beneath us on the edge of the United technical area, Steve Bruce standing motionless a few yards to his right. As Wednesday try and come forward now. Palmer infield to pick out Iorfa down the right, and now Reach will come back infield onto his left foot, checks back. Hutchinson finding Iorfa again, and now Reach on the edge of the penalty area. He is all left foot, but on his right he does well to back heel and find Hutchinson. A high cross played in, nodded down by Fletcher, but he can't link up with Boyd, but it's recovered by Bannon. Bannon now finds Aarons and points him towards the byline, and Aarons hits the byline, drives in the cross. Was it flicked away by Henderson? It was, and it's a throw into Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, first bit of pressure, sustained pressure from Sheffield Wednesday. They're keeping the ball alive, got it out to Adam from Reach, put the ball in the box. Aaron's on the left-hand side, got a first opportunity to run at Freeman, puts in a real strong cross. Looked like Henderson got a flick to it, and Sheffield Wednesday, kicking towards their own supporters, are desperate to try and get this opening goal.
Well, the storm seems to have passed through. The wind and rain has now ceased completely here at Hillsborough, but Billy Sharp has been penalised for a challenge on Hutchinson, and Peter Banks, the referee, must be getting fairly close to showing somebody a yellow card here.
It's interesting, isn't it? Sheffield United must have had 3 or 4 free kicks from exactly the same spot that Sheffield Wednesday have got one from now. Bit of a needless free kick from Billy Sharp. Will allow Bannon to put an in-swinging free kick in. But at least Sheffield Wednesday having a little bit of sustained pressure. Ball goes in the box, they're keeping second balls and then get it back out to the 2 wide players who have certainly been coming into the game a lot more.
Martin Craney will be coming on shortly for United. Bannon plays the free kick short. It's a dreadful one. He gave Aarons absolutely no chance, and now Sharp in a wrestling match with Hutchinson on this near side, and the ball just bobbles away off the Wednesday man for a throw-in.
Real strange decision from Barry Bannon there. He's got the opportunity with his great left foot to put an in-swinging ball, plays a short one and goes straight to a Sheffield United shirt. So he'll be hugely disappointed that he didn't allow the opportunity for the strikers, the centre-backs, to go and attack the ball.
Nearly an hour played, and that United change is imminent as Freeman plays it forward down the line, far side. There's a chase for Medine, who invites the challenge and doesn't get the free kick as Palmer sends him to the turf, but the final touch was off Medine, and it's a Wednesday throw-in, and Medine gets plenty of stick as a couple of beer glasses come down from that stand on the far side. They land some way away from Gary Medine, and the plastic glasses are kicked away by Barry Bannon.
Yeah, it's not something we want to see, really, sort of any description of anything coming onto the pitch. Looking down here, Martin Craney going to be coming on. It'll be interesting to see if Sheffield United decide to change shape or just personnel.
Well, a long ball is just lofted into the Wednesday half. Reach will chase. He was the only blue and white striped shirt anywhere near it, but Stevens gets there first to clear. Now Lees plays it down the line on the near side, the Wednesday right. Reach tells Lees he didn't appreciate that sort of service again, and it's cleared away by Wednesday. Norwood wide to the far side, and Basham, who strides away from Aarons and plays it further wide to Freeman. Dowell, Sharp and Medine all wait for the cross, but Freeman runs it straight out of play, and the change will be made now, and it's Craney coming on for Dowell.
This will be interesting if they're going to how they're going to change, because Dowell obviously playing just behind Medine and Sharp, where Craney, who's more natural of a defender, is he going to go to a back 4 and move Freeman up further up the pitch and go 4-4-2? We'll have to wait and see. Or Basham maybe goes into midfield and goes as an out-and-out midfield player. They're going as a Norwood holding midfield player. Basham and Fleck will look to join in, and Craney going in on the right-hand side of the back 5, or back 3, should I say.
Well, Basham has the ability to play further up the field, and that's what he's doing now, as Medine can't control on the far side. Bannon makes the challenge, and now the early ball is played forward by Bannon over the top, looking for Reach, who was heavily outnumbered once again by United cover, and it bobbles through towards Dean Henderson. And for the home side, Sheffield Wednesday aren't getting too many bodies forward, are they?
No, they're not. They're playing with a little bit more tempo, looking to get the ball to Reach, who's sort of first half been a little bit non-existent. Adam Reach, fantastic player, hired at Preston, can do something out of nothing. We've seen him score many goals, but he's not had the service really the first half. Second half he's had a little bit more. I think Sheffield Wednesday need to just try and work through the lines a little bit, but it's very difficult when you've got the 3 midfield players of both teams in there cancelling each other out.
62 minutes played. At the moment we are heading for the 3rd successive goalless draw between these two sides, but a point doesn't really help either of them. At the top, the main beneficiaries would be Norwich, because they would be 4 points clear of 3rd place, and of course with Leeds playing Sheffield United in a couple of weeks, the Canaries' position could be even stronger.
Yeah, and Sheffield Wednesday won't be too...
No, it's given away momentarily on this near side by O'Connell, but he recovers with the help of Stevens, and Norwood will go back towards Egan, and he finds Craney slotting in to the right of the back three with Freeman still on his outside. And Craney's ball wide to the far side just takes a touch off Bannon and goes out of play for a throw-in, which is launched long down the line, flicked on by Medine, and United make maybe 40 yards on the far side to earn another throw-in, almost level with the edge of the Wednesday penalty area.
It's a little bit more clearer now that Norwood's still the holding midfield player, but it looks like Fleck and especially Basham will look to join in, run forward and try and support Medine and Sharp and do something different that Sheffield United have not had in the locker so far in terms of trying to break this very strong-minded Sheffield Wednesday back four and midfield three.
64 minutes played, still goalless in the Steel City derby on TalkSport 2 as Fletcher neatly lays it off wide to the far side. Aarons has the opportunity to bring the ball forward, plays the early ball into the penalty area. Hutchinson is there, but he shoots it straight at Henderson, and it's Wednesday's best opportunity so far.
Well, what a fantastic ball into the box. I'm not quite sure what Fleck's doing. He's just let it come all the way across the 6-yard box, and Hutchinson's made great ground up to get into the box and fired it straight at Dean Henderson. Should he have done better? Probably, but right place at the right time for Dean Henderson, but a big opportunity for Sheffield Wednesday there.
There's now a wrestling match on the far side between Aarons and Craney, and as a result United have a free kick, but what an opportunity there for Sam Hutchinson. His last goal was in August of 2017 and it was straight at the goalkeeper.
It's across the 6-yard box and he's just stretching to get something on it really, but he's made good contact and it's gone straight at Dean Henderson. Either side of him is in the back of the net and they'll be celebrating in front of the home fans there, but we've seen two opportunities in the same area that have gone straight at keepers rather than at the side, else we could have a different scoreline so far.
Now O'Connell on this near side, the left, launches it down the line. There's a chase for Sharp, but it's over his head, over Lee's head, and out of play for a goal kick. And Billy Sharp heading for his 6th successive Steel City derby without a goal. He seems to score against everybody else, but he can't do it against Sheffield Wednesday.
No, they'd love to score in this game, wouldn't they? One for the bragging rights, 3 points and get them further up the table. But at the moment in time, it's been the Sheffield Wednesday two wide players who are influencing the game a lot more than any of the Sheffield United players. Reach and Aarons down either side are causing a few problems.
And in the last 47 games in which Sharp has scored, United haven't lost. Now Stevens has problems with Iorfa on this near side. It's back towards Reach, who can open out onto his left foot, but he doesn't cross. He instead finds Boyd. Boyd in field towards Bannon again. Reach holds his run to stay onside. Bannon comes into the penalty area. Maybe thought about cutting inside to shoot, but instead comes back outside the penalty area and finds Palmer. Palmer now with a right-footed shot. Well, he hardly ever scores, and it's over the top.
Well, quite speculative from there that Liam Palmer's come on his right foot from the left back area and might as well have a shot. If you don't shoot, you don't get the opportunity to score. But it has been quite clear that Sheffield Wednesday are the more dominant team. They're getting into the wide areas, getting a few more bodies, pushing forward. Looks like Sheffield United are going to make a change. David McGoldrick coming on, probably for Gary Medine.
And McGoldrick getting final instructions as Hector heads away on the far side. Then Palmer tries to find touch and eventually Basham does. Wednesday with a throw-in down the line looking for Fletcher, but his ball in field is hooked towards the Wednesday goal, but then a free kick has been given against Medine, and it's Medine who is coming off. So the former Sheffield Wednesday man doesn't score against his former club, and you can hear the reaction from the home supporters as Gary Medine very slowly makes his way off. We spoke about his checkered career here at Hillsborough, scored the goals which helped Wednesday back into the Championship, was then jailed for ABH and GBH, and he makes a very deliberate point of applauding the United fans away to the left as he comes across to this near side.
Yeah, we thought before the game that his aerial advantage over Lees and Hector might be an advantage for Sheffield United. Not being quite the case, so you got somebody of David McGoldrick's experience and quality will play slightly different. He'll drop into little pockets and give Sheffield Wednesday a different opportunity and different problems. So I think it's probably the right call from Chris. Sometimes when you've got a striker who's 6'4", it can be an easy option for your back defenders, back three, back five, that you don't take the responsibility of playing into people's feet. You're playing the easy option of hitting the big target man, look for second balls. Not quite worked tonight for Medina or Sheffield United. Now Sheffield Wednesday have got some different type of option to deal with McGoldrick up alongside Billy Sharp.
68 minutes played, 0-0, and TalkSport 2 supports the work of Prostate Cancer UK. Remember, in the time it takes to play a game of football, 2 men in the UK will die of prostate cancer. To find out more and how you can help, visit prostatecanceruk.org/football. And as Medine made his way to the United bench there was quite a reaction from the Wednesday fans sat behind him. I'm not sure if anything was said by either party, but McGoldrick, who saw a penalty saved in the game at Bramall Lane back in November, is now on the field alongside Billy Sharp, and they've been a very effective partnership the longer the season's gone on.
Yeah, it's quite clear straight away that he's dropping more off Billy Sharp. Billy Sharp's playing up against Lees and Hector. McGoldrick in around Barry Bannon, our possession, but in possession they'll be looking to try and get him into his feet, get on the half turn, and then slide rule passes for the wing backs or the midfield players, or Billy Sharp running between Lees and Hector. So different, as I said, different problem for Sheffield Wednesday to solve, but some things that Sheffield United had to do because they were a little bit one-dimensional, really.
Bodies go tumbling as McGoldrick comes in to win it back here from Palmer. Palmer then tries to head the ball out of play, and Palmer is penalised for a push on Basham, and it will be a free kick for Sheffield United. And we are into the final 20 minutes on TalkSport 2, and we still await the first goal. Don't forget, tomorrow night Dortmund against Spurs is on TalkSport. The first T20 International will be live and exclusive here on TalkSport 2, and the second one of those will be here on Friday evening. A long ball is played forward for United, wide on the far side, then Hector comes and slices the ball up in the air and out of play, and it will be a throw into the Blades, a couple of yards from the corner flag on the far side there, right into the feet of Basham, and back out wide towards Freeman, who comes in field. Craney in support now. Basham thought about the ball around the corner back towards Craney, but instead turns himself. Craney jabs it in field, appeals for handball as he's challenged by Bannon, but nothing is given. Another long ball for Stephen Fletcher to fight for, and he wins the header but can't find a teammate, and it's eventually funneled back towards Dean Henderson.
Yeah, the ball going up to Fletcher, and it's a bit of a hopeless ball up to him that could do with a little bit more quality into his chest, into his feet, which allow him to get hold of it, to bring in the likes of Reach, Aarons and Boyd, who's come on and replaced Forestieri. So not a great deal of quality still from both teams. Game's on a knife edge that it could still go either way with 20 minutes so to go, and everybody knows the significance of these 3 points, what it can do to both teams.
And it's got the look of one goal deciding this now.
Yeah, we were hoping before the game, weren't we, that it's going to be a classic of 2 or 3 goals, but I think we'll be happy just to take one more with Nigel.
Well, the way it's going at the moment, one will probably be enough, because I think the effect on the team which concedes will make it very difficult for them to come back, as Basham plays another long ball forward into the channel, right-hand side. Sharp will try and get there and use his barrel chest to hold off Lees, but Wednesday get bodies around the ball, and it's cleared away by Hector up to the halfway line, but quickly flicked forward by Craney, and then McGoldrick nods it down neatly to the far side, and Freeman, who just helps it forward in the general direction of the penalty area, but neither Sharp or McGoldrick can fasten onto it, and it's cleared away by Hector, and it will be a throw-in for United on the far side with 17 minutes to play at Hillsborough on TalkSport 2. If it stays like this, the big winners of the night really will be Norwich and Leeds, because they will remain in the automatic promotion places above Sheffield United, and there will be a 4-point gap between Norwich and third place. And doesn't sound like too much, but it's a significant gap at this stage of the season.
Well, it is, as the games are going by and you're getting chalked off, and before you know it, in the next couple of weeks we're going to be down to the last half a dozen games, and if Norwich have still got a decent advantage, they'll be very confident in getting promotion. But we've all said it, that the Championship is still going to turn up some twists and turns from now to the end of the season, that when a team is looking to take advantage, can they do that? And so far, Sheffield United always knew that this was going to be a tough game tonight. Never going to be easy coming into a local derby where you're going to just turn up and get the 3 points. You've got to earn the right, but they've just got to do a little bit more to try and secure the 3 points.
Well, Norwich start the footballing weekend next time out on Friday when they entertain Swansea. There'll be updates on that game on TalkSport. Leeds with a big game away to Bristol City, 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. And before then, Sheffield United are at home to Rotherham, and there'll be commentary on that game here on TalkSport 2. Long clearance downfield from Henderson for United, headed away by Hector, the man on loan from Chelsea, and then the free kick given for the challenge by Basham on Aarons, and it's a free kick for Sheffield Wednesday. And how many fouls has Basham given away?
To be fair, you've took the words right out of my mouth. I'm just thinking, how many free kicks have been given tonight, but not through nasty challenges, but just stupid little ones, running into the back of somebody when you can't win the first header, or pushing somebody. It'll be, I bet you it's in the 20s.
Well, the free kick comes to nothing. Well, there's not really been, it's a local derby, there's not really been a bad challenge in the game, has there?
No, and when we're talking there about free kicks that have been made tonight, there's not one where it's gone, oh, that's a bit of a naughty challenge, that's really got the anger of the crowd or got the tempo of the game. It's been like needless ones, little tippy-tappy ones that are stopping the flow of the game, and that's no fault of the referee, because players have been making them fouls and he has to give them, and it's just probably stopped the flow of any consistent play for both teams.
Guy Clark, our producer, tells me there have been 30 fouls so far, 15 apiece. As Sharp is caught by Hutchinson on this near side, but it's quickly gathered by McGoldrick, and now Fleck looks to change the point of the attack and drives a low ball into the penalty area, blocked by Hector. Sharp will try and regather, he then goes down, but any appeals for a penalty mainly came from the crowd, but it's quickly regathered by Norwood, and McGoldrick tries to slip the ball into the penalty area, but it's behind Sharp, hasn't gone out of play. It's played by Iorfa on this near side and eventually cleared, but straight back to Fleck. Fleck now finding McGoldrick on the edge of the penalty area, drifting away to the left, back towards Fleck again, who will try and drive towards the byline. He's got support from O'Connell, and now McGoldrick's low ball in is rather awkwardly kneed away by Lees. Norwood clips it back into the box. McGoldrick jabbed it across the face of goal, and sliding in 3 yards out, Hector launches the ball away for a corner.
Well, I think Chris Wilder will be delighted with the impact that David McGoldrick's made, that he's causing Sheffield Wednesday different types of problems, that he's dropping into areas, he's going wide where Medine was just quite happy to be in around the 18-yard box, but good combination play from McGoldrick, plays it into Norwood, more mid-central of the pitch, and then plays a reverse pass for McGoldrick, who then gets in, good first-time pass across the 6-yard box, and good defending, but a little bit different for Sheffield United.
The corner from Norwood, high to the far post. Westwood has lost it, and then he palms at it, flaps at it, and gets a couple of fingernails on it to divert it behind.
Well, it's one of them, a bit like the first half. Billy Sharp's in amongst him, not giving him that free opportunity, Kieran Westwood, to come out and collect the ball, and he got in no man's land a little bit and managed to palm it away for another corner. 13
minutes to play, 0-0. Fleck with an in-swinger towards the near post. Hector again does well to rise and clear. Fleck will try and regather before Bannon. Now Norwood played the right sort of ball down the line, right-hand side for Basham, but it was overhit and out for a throw-in.
Yeah, I think both teams have defended set pieces really well. Balls have been going in the box, and they've been the aerial dominance of the defending team. Just looking down to the Sheffield Wednesday bench, they're going to be making another substitution.
There's movement on both benches at the moment as the gentle drizzle continues to come down here at Hillsborough. And with 78 minutes played, it remains 0-0, and it's Morgan Fox who is coming on, a more orthodox left-back.
Yeah, I think Iorfa was just maybe struggling with a little bit of cramp. A couple of minutes ago, just looked him stretching his hamstring, so if he does make that decision, Palmer will come across to right back and Fox into left back.
As United try and come forward on this near side with O'Connell, but sliding in to make the challenge was Hutchinson, and Simon scored that right. It's Dominic Iorfa who is coming off, so Wednesday's back four will now have more balance, with Fox going over to the left-hand side and Palmer in his more familiar role down the right.
Yeah, bit of cramp, I think, from the young lad on loan from Wolves.
Well, he's not played a huge amount of football for a long time, Dominic Iorfa. Now McGoldrick plays it back into his own half, and it'll be gathered by Craney. Square to Egan. Boyd will try and pressurise them with shuttle runs between the central defenders, but now Craney has time to bring it forward on the far side, the right, as he strides away from Fletcher, further wide towards Freeman, and Craney again now. His run was blocked off by Bannon. Bannon believes he took it out of play, but Craney carries on into the penalty area. Left foot shot from him takes a deflection off Hector and goes away for a corner. I don't think the shot was going in, but what an outstanding run for Martin Craney.
Yeah, he got himself into a position where he's probably not the most comfortable. He did ever so well down the right-hand side, decided then to drive in on inside where the space was, and looked to it. The shot with the left foot deflected away for another Sheffield United corner.
Fleck will take it on the far side. Basham makes the run towards the near post. It's beyond him. Egan will leap. It's headed across the face of goal. Nodded down looking for McGoldrick, who hooks it back into the penalty area, and in the end it's cleared away to this near side. Sharp will try and regather, and all he can do is just hook the ball against the knees of Palmer, and it's gone behind for another corner, but Stephen Fletcher is down inside the 6-yard area first.
A little bit sustained pressure from Sheffield United. Won the first ball, second ball as well, and then bobbling around, Fletcher managed to get a little bit on it. From Sheffield Wednesday's perspective, lucky to clear the lines, and could have seen Norwood take another corner. Plenty of corners. Let's see if we can get a good delivery and somebody executing the ball.
Norwood again, right-footed, high to the far post. Westwood comes one-handed again. Doesn't really make any sort of significant contact. It's hooked up in the air at the far post by Hutchinson, and the high bouncing ball is eventually gathered by Boyd by the corner flag. He tries to dig the ball out. All he can do is find Basham. Basham is then cut down by Hutchinson, and it's a free kick level with the edge of the Wednesday penalty area on the far side, and tempers just beginning to boil over as Hutchinson is called across to the referee.
Yeah, just a tackle there where on the far side, where probably again didn't have to make that challenge. We saw Westwood flap at another corner, gives Sheffield United the opportunity to put it in again. So far, for Sheffield Wednesday's perspective, they've defended their set pieces really well, but if you keep giving free kicks away, the more opportunities come for the opposition if you're not careful.
Norwood will take the free kick on the far side, and it's an outswinger again, high to the far post. Egan rising with the header, and it's hacked away by Hector, and he was fouled as he made that clearance, and it's a free kick to Wednesday.
Good concentration from Sheffield Wednesday. Great ball in from Norwood. Sheffield United won the first contact, and then ultimately dropped in the box, and Hector was alive, managed to get a clearance on it, and was caught from Billy Sharp. I think he was looking for that second phase, but Hector did ever so well there, limping away this moment in time, but got to put your body on the line if you're a centre back, and that's what he's done.
8 minutes to play, goalless. You're listening to Sheffield Wednesday against Sheffield United on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Clearance on the far side by Egan, doesn't find the intended target. Wednesday will try and bring it forward, but Fletcher just pushes his man over outside the United penalty area, and it will be a free kick and an opportunity for Chris Wilder's men to clear.
Yeah, one of them needless free kicks again. How many times have we said that tonight? And it's probably been one of the reasons why we've not really had the free-flowing game or the opportunities where both teams are asking questions of the opposition. because just needless free kicks. Both physios looking to come on, but is it Jack O'Connell? Yeah, he's back up on his feet now. We're going to go into the last sort of 8 minutes, 7 minutes of the game. We're going to have a bit of injury time. Is there going to be an opportunity for one of them? Is one of the key players for either team going to make something happen out of nothing? Last 5-8 minutes or so, Sheffield United have been the more dominant team. We're up to then Sheffield Wednesday with the likes of Reach, Aarons have been coming into the game more, but in that period of time they've drifted out of the game, and Sheffield United have had more of an impact on it.
Well, United have been inside the top 6 since they beat Steve Bruce's Aston Villa by 4-1 on September the 1st. A lot of water has passed under the bridge since then, but if they want to return to the top 2, they need to find a goal in the next 6.5 minutes. Now Freeman plays it in field to Norwood. A high ball lofted towards the edge of the penalty area. Craney does well to gather, plays it back to Norwood. Boyd slides in from behind Norwood, but won the ball cleanly. Aarons tries to bring it clear, but he didn't see Basham coming, and he's robbed him. And Basham now down the right-hand side, plays it in field towards Norwood. Now McGoldrick on the edge of the penalty area. The ball just spins up as he controls, but he does well to loft it wide to the left-hand side, and Stevens. Infield again towards O'Connell. Stevens back towards Fleck. Sharp waits on the edge of the penalty area. Fleck continues his run. O'Connell now back towards Stevens. Now McGoldrick. McGoldrick around the corner, looking for O'Connell, but it's an excellent challenge. Liam Palmer going to ground, but making sure he got the ball, not the man, and it's a throw in to Sheffield United.
Sheffield United have been a different team with McGoldrick on. Yes, the aerial threat of Medine that we mentioned, but he's such a clever player. He gets it into little pockets. He gets into little pockets, gets on the half turn, looking for the pass of Stevens, and even O'Connell's looking to join in now in the latter reaches of this second half.
Now O'Connell, a high lofted ball over Billy Sharp into the penalty area, nodded away. Basham thought about the volley, but in fact I think Freeman got in his way, but it's won back by Norwood. High into the penalty area, looking for McGoldrick, and now Basham heads it square to this near side. Fleck will step in before Palmer, and now Stevens can swoop towards the penalty area and find Norwood again. Back towards O'Connell. Incessant pressure now from United. Norwood's ball into the penalty area, nodded away at the far post by Fox, and there's the opportunity now for Wednesday to break with Aarons over the halfway line. He's got Craney backpedaling, but Craney judged the challenge very well, and attack quickly turns into defence for Wednesday as Basham strides clear wide towards the far side, and Sharp has Craney on the overlap. Craney delivers the cross in low, and Lees is there to make the block at the near post. The ball's not gone out of play. Hector will now try and clear, but he loses out to Basham, and Basham, though, under pressure from Hector, just bobbles the ball over the line, and it's a throw into Wednesday.
Fair credit, both teams trying to win it. You saw Sheffield United breaking forward, then all of a sudden Wednesday defended really well. They were on the counter-attack where it looked like they had the overload. Aarons was defended really well against Craney, and then all of a sudden the bodies that Sheffield Wednesday had thrown forward were then vulnerable to the counter-attack from Sheffield United, and they broke very quickly, but ultimately Sheffield Wednesday defended it really well, and it petered out, but at least it's opening up a little bit more. That's both teams still trying to get the 3 points and not happy to settle for a point each.
Both teams need to win, and that urgency is now shown in the final 3.5 minutes on TalkSport 2. Palmer plays it down the line, but Boyd can't gather, and the back pass from O'Connell just for a second looked to be going beyond Henderson, who made the run beyond the near post, and the ball was heading towards the goal, but the goalkeeper recovers, and here is Norwood. Another good ball from him wide to the left-hand side. Stevens, though, just can't gather it as it skips off the wet turf, and it's out of play for a throw-in.
Got Dean Henderson there, kind of sort of flashes going through his mind of what happened at Bramall Lane, where he took a touch, and Leeds managed to benefit from a goal late on as well, which won Leeds United the 3 points. So he managed to get a touch on it first and clear quickly. Are we going to get a winner in this last few minutes?
31,630 the crowd, the biggest of the season here by more than 2,000. Stevens plays it down the line, and Sharp's offside. Appeals from the United supporters who believe that Westwood had gathered outside the penalty area. Well, I don't think we've had too many offsides before then.
No, I don't think there has. I think both teams have defended well, not allowed the space to be played behind them. Billy Sharp there looking to run in behind, but a good line from Sheffield Wednesday's back four. Allow Westwood now to play a long ball into Fletcher, looking for second balls and knockdowns.
2 minutes to play. 0-0 on TalkSport 2. Aaron's inside the penalty area, just pushed off it by Freeman, but no real hint of a foul. It's flicked into the box by Reach, and Henderson doesn't come for it. Boyd was offside, and we now have another offside flag.
Well, it's one of them that the assistant referee gives the offside once the striker starts running towards the ball, which is quite infuriating for everybody connected with it, because they probably don't see what happens in the first phase of play.
90 seconds of normal time to play. Adi Nuiu will be coming on shortly, the big man for Sheffield Wednesday, the Kosovan international. And Billy Sharp is flagged offside. Having not had an offside for 88 minutes, we've now had 3 in 40 seconds.
Wow. Should we mention that there's been no goal? We might get some very quickly.
Nuiu coming on for Fletcher right at the end of this game. And Fletcher's worked hard with very little service, and the Wednesday crowd rise to acclaim him because he's done what he could.
Yeah, he's been up there on his own quite a lot. Working hard, trying to occupy many of them 3 centre-backs for Sheffield United. Obviously it's a like for like with Newey coming on, 6'5", again looking to hit him on the diagonal. Can they get a second ball with Reach and Boyd looking for it? Sheffield United defend it well again though.
O'Connell wins that first battle with Nuiu, who has been used as a replacement for much of his Wednesday career for situations like this. 25 seconds of normal time to play. Jeremy Simpson, the fourth official, heads out towards the edge of the technical area as United make heavy weather of closing their lines, and Nuiu wins it in the air before O'Connell eventually plays it forward. Sharp will try and flick the ball on, then just nudges into Lees. Lees goes down, and the free kick's given to Sheffield Wednesday. 2 minutes of added time.
Wow, is that all? How often do you see 2 minutes? That's
we've had the trainers on.
Substitutions as well. It's like you very rarely get 2 minutes of injury time in any game.
And Chris Wilder's complaining, I think, A, that there's not enough injury time, and B, about the Billy Sharp free kick. Now Palmer with the high ball forward into the penalty area. Another good leap, this time by O'Connell. It's recovered by Aarons, and it's back towards Bannon. Bannon with the early ball forward. Hector is still up there, but it's cleared away, and now Norwood just plays it forward, and Billy Sharp is the only United player on the halfway line, and he quickly waves forward some